Well, hello, folks. Welcome to a new episode in Messy Beard Day. It's the day I'm off from work, so we're going to make this video, and I'm just going to enjoy not having to put a lot of time and effort into my beard and let it just be. So, we're going to cover today the things that I use for winter riding, cold weather riding. And there's some new discoveries and some stuff I've been using for a long time. And I hope that this will help you find a way to really enjoy the cold weather without having to have a massive budget or buy any specialty gear. So this is how I do it, and I find it incredibly enjoyable. Okay, first thing that I've been using for a long time is a pair of gloves that my wife ordered for me, and they are just amazing. They're by Indy Ridge. So I'm going to put a link below. Lots and lots of options. These are technically a middleweight glove. So not designed for heavy winter, but they fit me so well, and they are so good at doing their job that I will typically wear these in anything above, I don't know, about 35 degrees. So 35 degrees on up, all the way up into the mid 90s. These are great gloves. And at the mid 90s, because of course being here in Texas, it gets a little warm sometimes, I'll switch to a much better vented glove. But from 95 all the way down to about 35, I will wear these. What makes these so good is I have trouble because I have hands that are used for working. I have muscle in different parts of the hands than would normally be typical. So I always struggle with having something that's going to hold my palm well, and yet the gloves will fit my fingers well without coming way out and extending. Most of the time, I basically have a large fingers, but I have an extra large palm. These gloves fit me perfectly. They conform and stretch and fit super nicely over my palm, and my fingers go all the way to the ends just perfectly. They're also on the thumb, the middle finger, and the first finger, truly screen interactive, so I can operate my cell phone, computers, touch screens smoothly. It's not like the common experience of gloves that claim to be good for touch screens working sometimes and not working others. These really work every single time, and they're great. Nice supports and bolsters where you're going to need it, and the besides the comfort, just the overall look and design is really amazing on these. I love these gloves. So that's first part of my winter gear. And I normally don't have to go to a heavier glove, a gauntleted style. I don't know if that's even a word, gauntleted. But the style of glove that has a gauntlet arm piece until I get below 35 degrees, which isn't all that common here. Maybe 3 weeks out of the year. So let's put these aside. Next piece of gear that is actually a surprise to me that I found out today when I went for a ride. It was 44 degrees when I started out, and it was 56 degrees when I ended about 3 hours later, was how effective my Shoei helmet was at dealing with the fog. So with the typical humidity here, normally from 38 degrees in my experience all the way up to about 45 degrees, there is heavy fogging inside the lens. And I know a lot of people like pin locks, and this Shoei is set up to be able to have a pin lock, but it's not my cup of tea. My progressive lenses on my glasses just don't handle the pin lock and the viewing through the shield as well It just makes my eyes uncomfortable. So I don't like to ride with a pin lock. Well, these here, without the pin lock, this Shoei Neotec 2, let's open this up, has this inner curtain, and this you can take off and on. And with this on, it does a couple things. Unlike any other helmet that I have, when the mouthpiece is open here, the air venting up creates the curtain along the windshield without putting anything cold on my face. I get no direct air on my face that I have to deal with. But it really keeps that lens clear. If I come to a stop this morning, I would see that while I'm waiting for a red light, it might start to fog up a little bit, but within 20 feet of moving going forward, this air curtain that it creates cleared the lens. It was perfect. The guard is not intrusive. It just, breathing was amazing, but the clarity was surprising. So I am just a huge fan. Now, I know a lot of helmets have these. Case in point, I had an Agv K5 helmet. Everybody said it was going to be great for that kind of thing. It had the inner guard, and it wasn't. I would have a couple clear spots, a couple foggy spots, and there was almost a direct airflow coming up and going into my eyes, causing them to water. I was not happy with that. This is the best for riding in cold weather that I've ever had, and it works flawlessly. Again, good job, Shoei. Okay. Now, here's going to be a big surprise. I know that some experienced bikers have already discovered this, and somebody mentioned it to me, and I am just utterly in shock at how well this works. I wear, of course, my leather jacket, and I typically, when we're dealing with colder climates or colder weather, I'll put a sweater on underneath, and that works very well at keeping my core warm. But my legs always freeze. So what I have done for the last 3 or 4 years during cold weather is to wear sweatpants, big bulky sweatpants over my jeans or work pants, and then on top of them I would wear windbreaker pants to cut the wind. And it made me feel bulky. It was a lot of weight. It was a lot of resistance and movement of my legs. On top of that, there is a tendency when riding of the wind blowing up the sections of my leg where my calf is, and having that windbreaker come up, and then if I'm really putting down some speed, starting to peel up those sweatpants to where I was still having skin exposed above the boot, and I was losing a lot of heat, and it was just not comfortable. So somebody had told me about this. I tried it, went out on Amazon, and for $49, and let me put that in perspective. There's a lot of people out there that have riding pants for all weather, and they're great, and they run you $400, $500, $600. I did not want to spend that amount of money. I put a ton of money into my bike, and I put a ton of money into safety gear, but I tend to not put a lot into my personal comfort as I do the other categories. And it's awful painful for me to justify such a big expense just for comfort for part of the year. But like I said, I went on Amazon and I found these pants, and they're under $50. And what they are they're snow pants. Now, let me go over some of the features on here, and I think you're going to be as surprised as I am. I'm going to put a link to all of this stuff down in my video, and somewhere up here at the top, you're going to find mention of it as well. Okay, so these guys. Let's open these up. You'll see these are really nicely padded. They're very thick. They're by a company called TSLA. They pronounce it Tesla, but it's TSLA. And this is a large. I have a 34 waist. Large fits me super comfortably. On these pants, let's put this over. You're going to have a cargo pocket here with Velcro top and liner inside. Close that up. The sides also have a zipper pocket that is got a warmish material liner on the inside of those that feels very soft to the touch. You have loops for a belt, so you can wear these as outer pants, but I put these on over my jeans so that when the time came, I could take them off if I'm ever in a area or a position where the temperature changes so much that I start to get warm. And the sides also have this Velcroed adjustment, so you can make it a little bit more snug if you wanted to, just by tightening that and then closing that. Very lightweight, very comfortable. Now on the feet, you have an expander joint which snaps open and closed. And then this is one thing that I thought was super about these, was inside here, let me just get a hold of it, is another leg, again with a snap on it, expander, that is very tight and it is spandexy. And this slips down over your boot, this inner liner, over your boot, creating an airtight zone, and then that drops down over it. Now, the inside of this elastic band is rubber coated to prevent it from being pushed up your boot. So it really creates a tight seal to keep the warm air inside. With this, I've noticed that wearing my jeans underneath these pants, when this elastic was around my jeans and my jeans were then around the boot, the jeans would start to slip up the boot. During a refueling stop, I pushed the jeans edge up inside there and had just the rubber on my boot, and it did not slip at all. It was a great grip. And I loved it. Okay, let's go on down over here. On the reviews I read online, one of the things, literally the only thing that anybody complained about was the connections here. So on the outside, it looks like button snaps, but on the inside, it's these little hooks that hook into these two little catches. Once that those are hooked in, you have a Velcro square that then Velcros it so that it doesn't slide out of the hook. So I think it's very efficient. It worked well with me, and I can see the advantages over the button to have it done this way, but there were people complaining that they did not like the hook and they sent the pants back without really using them or trying them. I don't understand that, but they really like snaps. If you are a person that really likes snaps, it's easy to remove these and put snaps on it. That's what I would do if I had an issue, because these pants on a rating of 1 to 10, I'd give them a 10. So with these on, with my normal leather jacket on that I use, half the year in winter, and a sweater underneath, my Shoei helmet and my gloves, even though I started out and it was about 44 degrees, 42 to 44 degrees when I started out, it felt on my skin inside there like I was about 73 to 75 degrees. And that didn't change. As the temperature rose all the way up to the mid 50s, I stayed the same temperature inside this gear. And it felt incredibly comfortable. These pants are waterproof to a degree. One of the reviews said that if you sit on snow and you're there for a long time, that eventually the snow will make it moist on the seat, start to seep through. But every other review, no issues, said, when you're dealing with rain and moisture and things like that, it just comes right off the pants. Of course, my leather jacket's going to be the same way. It is also windproof, so you don't have any wind going through it to steal the heat pocket that's between your skin and the layers. So I love these pants. I can't recommend them enough. I'm going to put a link to them down below. Give this a shot. They're also 1/10 of the weight and the bulky feeling that I had with the sweatpants and then the windbreaker pants over them. With these here, they're just like literally as padded and thick feeling here to my hands, but on me it was like almost having nothing over my jeans. I could feel the weight of my jeans, but I couldn't feel the weight of these. Didn't hinder my movement at all. I'm very, very happy with it. So I hope that this helped. Oh, and then these gloves, I believe they were somewhere between $50 and $60, something like that. You'll see it when you go follow the link in my video down here. But overall, I already had the helmet, I already have the jacket, I already have a sweater. This is very inexpensive setup to really enjoy your winter riding. So I hope it helps. I hope it helps you avoid having to spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get the right gear. And give it a shot. I think you'll be impressed. Thank you. I will see you on the next video.